And welcome to Technology Tap. I'm Professor J. Rod. In this episode, we're going to talk about incident response, digital forensic, and monitoring. Let's tap in. And welcome to Technology Tap. I'm Professor J. Rod. For those who don't know me, I'm a professor of cybersecurity, and I love helping students pass the A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, and Tech Plus class. If you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram at Professor J. Rod, on TikTok at Professor J. Rod, on YouTube at Technology Tap, and I'm on LinkedIn. Just look for Professor J. Rod on LinkedIn, and you should find me there. And you can also email me at professorjrod@gmail.com. Also, I want to tell you, so these last couple of episodes, I've been doing an episode and creating a student work packet. So those of you who are educators and are listening, and the winter break is coming up and students will be home. So if you want them to maintain, level of freshness for their classes, either A+ or Security Plus, you can go to my website, professorjrod.com/downloads, and I put a packet for this will be episode 5, so this one and the other 4 before this one, I've established a student packet so that your students could work during the winter break, just to keep them refreshed, not a lot of work. They can listen to the podcast, and then I have a couple of assignments that they can do off the podcast. So if you want to keep them engaged over the winter recess, this is a great way for you teachers out there to keep your students engaged. So just go to professorjrod.com/downloads, and you'll see and just look for the episode, and you'll see the work packet there that you can download it and then just hand it in when they come back to class when school begins. All right. So today we're going to deep dive into to one of the most critical domains in all of cybersecurity: incident response, digital forensic, and monitoring. This is the backbone of how modern cybersecurity teams detect, analyze, and contain and learn from attacks. The incident response lifecycle. CompTIA gives us the classic incident response process diagram, a life cycle every cyber professional must know. 1. Preparation. 2. Detection. 3. Analysis. 4. Containment. 5. Eradication. 6. Recovery. And 7. Lessons learned. Let's walk through each phase with real-world energy and clarity. Preparation. Building the defense before the fight. Preparation includes a strong cybersecurity infrastructure, a CIRT, a CERT, a CSIRT, and a SOC. Defined reporting and triage procedures, a communication plan, including out-of-band channels, which means like if your email got hacked, don't send out any communications anymore through email, right? Call and text, do other stuff. A list of trusted parties, clear stakeholder management, and a written incident response plan. And these are things that are really underused that most companies don't like doing because it's consuming time and money. Example, Fortune 500 keeps a dedicated battle book with contacts, network diagrams, playbooks, and emergency escalation path. During an incident, responders don't waste time searching for who to call, they act. Detection, spotting trouble early. Detection channels include log monitoring and alerting, deviation from baseline metrics, manual inspection, and whistleblowing or public reporting. Showing how analysts click on alert, triage, and assign assignments. Definitions. First responder. The first CIRT member who takes ownership of a reported incident. An example. A SOC analyst recently receives a spike in a failed SSH login attempts. They identify as brute force activity and escalate. Analysis, understanding what you're facing. Analysis includes classification, prioritization, determining impact, scope, and category, use kill chains and threat intelligence, and checking playbooks. Example, a ransomware alert triggers. During analysis, the team determines 2 servers are encrypted, a lateral movement is suspected. Detection time is 15 minutes. Recovery time, 4 hours. This determines resource allocation and urgency. 4. Containment, stopping the bleeding. Containment methods include isolate base, quarantine infected hosts, segmentation base, limit network spread, and preserve evidence while stopping damage. Example, a compromised laptop is isolated from the network but left powered on to preserve memory evidence. 5. Eradication and recovery, returning to normal. Eradication includes removing malware, patching vulnerabilities, and reconstituting systems. Recovery includes validating systems and notifying affected stakeholders. Lesson number 6, lesson learned, the debriefs. This phase includes the root cause analysis, the 5 whys, and full timeline walkthrough. Example, a phishing attack occurred. The root cause was the lack of multi-factor authentication. Solution, roll out multi-factor authentication and update training. 7. Testing and training, practicing the real thing. CompTIA talks about doing tabletop exercises, walkthroughs, and red team simulations. Every great incident response team trains like firefighters, consistently practicing for the next emergency. Digital forensic fundamentals. Digital forensics ensure evidence is collected legally, properly, and verifiably. Due process and legal hold. Due process ensures fairness and standard procedures. Legal hold, authority to seize system as evidence, and latent evidence, digital evidence not visible through tools. Example, a company must preserve all employees' emails after a subpoena, including deleted ones. Acquisition and order of volatility. That includes 1. CPU registers, 2. Cache, 3. RAM, 4. Disk storage, 5. Logs, 6. Backups and archival media. Example, if you pull the plug too early, volatile evidence such as RAM, stored malware may vanish. Memory acquisition. Tools like volatility framework extract temporary file system data, network connections, and cryptographic keys. Disk acquisition includes live acquisitions, static acquisitions, shutdown of pull plug, and use of forensic imaging tool like DCF-LDD. Preservation. Critical items. Write blocker, chain of custody, hash for integrity, right? Source, reference, and working copy. You want to make, right? And verify that nothing has changed. Report and e-discovery includes summary of findings, professional ethics, metadata extraction, and deduplication. Data sources. These are the fuel powering modern SOC operation. Core data sources, memory and file systems data, network logs, IDS, IPS alerts, OS logs, application logs, endpoint security logs. Dashboards, analyst dashboards, triage alerts, manager dashboards, business status. Logs, where the truth lives. Windows event viewer, syslog, Linux var log, shows SSH activity, and endpoint logs revealing malware quarantines. Network data sources, firewalls, IDS, IPS logs revealed malicious IPS and attack patterns. Packet captures. Tools like Wireshark allow per packet analysis, reconstruction of malicious binaries. Metadata. Example, file timestamps, web headers, email headers, analysis, typo squatting shown. Alert monitoring and semi operations. Semi and monitoring tools. Semi is security, information, and event management. Their key functions are log collections, sensors, remote forwarding or syslog, log aggregation, field normalization, and time synchronization. A Wazoo Semi dashboard helps visualize threat patterns across thousands of endpoints. Alert and correlation. Semis use static rules, threat intelligence, quarantine actions, executive reports, and evidence archiving. Alert tuning. Definitions you must know. False positives. Alert when no malicious activity. False negative. Miss malicious activity. True positive. Correct detection. Alert fatigue. Too many low-value alerts overwhelm the analysis. Techniques: adjust rule sensitivity, redirect flood, machine learning assisted tuning. Monitoring infrastructure includes heartbeat monitoring, SNMP traps, NetFlow IP fix for traffic metadata. Example, if a server stops sending heartbeats, the system may be down or compromised. Monitoring systems and applications. Tools monitor system health, availability, error logs, cloud service outage, vulnerability scans, DLP alerts. Benchmark and SCAP. SCAP uses languages OVAL XCCDF to load benchmark configs, scan systems for deviation, and identify misconfigurations. All right. Now it's that time again. It's the four. Four questions. How does it work? I ask four CompTIA style questions. I give you the questions, and then I give you the four choices. Then I read it again, and then I give you 5 seconds to answer the question. Hopefully, we can go 4 for 4. Question 1. Which phase of incident response includes establishing an out-of-band communication channel? A. Detection. B. Preparation. C. Containment. Or D. Lesson learned. Again, which phases of incident response includes establishing an out-of-band communication channel? A. Detection. B. Preparation. C. Containment. Or D. Lesson learned. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is B. Preparation. Out-of-band communication explicitly appear under the preparation stage, right? Which means what? That you have to have, again, a different way to communicate with each other, right? You're not going to, if the email is hacked, you're not going to communicate via email. 2, a forensic analysis is acquiring evidence and must maintain proof that no tampering occurred. Which mechanism ensures this? A, packet capture logs. B, chain of custody. C, memory dump. D, event correlation. A forensic analysis is acquiring evidence and must maintain proof that no tampering occurred. Which mechanism ensures this? A, packet capture logs. B, chain of custody. C, memory dump. Or D, event correlation. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is B, chain of custody. Guaranteeing evidence integrity from collection to preservation. You have to store your, you got to make sure, it's just like any cop thing, right? You want to make sure that you maintain chain of custody and you don't break chain of custody. So, for example, somebody's gambling or something or doing something they're not supposed to, right? If it's illegal, of course, the cops are going to come and take it. But if it's if you want to save it for purposes of like firing or lawsuit, you don't keep it under your desk, right? You're going to put it in a room that only certain people, that has a door, that has a lock, that only certain people have access to. You're not just going to leave it thrown around. That's no bueno. A SAME generates thousands of alerts from a misconfigured application, overwhelming the SOC. Which concept describes this situation? A, false negative, B, alert fatigue, C, net flow overload, or D, endpoint drift? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is B, alert fatigue. Right? It's too many alerts, too many like little noises are coming in that he's just tired of it, and he can miss one that's actually a false negative, right? Or false positive if he keeps just being interrupted by too many things that are alerting, right? The system, you have the system set up that is too sensitive. It's, so he's getting overwhelmed with stuff that just like little nuisance. Oh, this person logged in. Oh, this person logged in. Oh, this, he doesn't want to, you don't want to be doing that. So it's a little bit too much. So, all right. Hopefully you're 3 for 3. Let's go 4 for 4. Which data source should best identify the executable transferred through SMB through a suspicious intrusion? A, manager dashboard, B, packet capture, C, email metadata, or D, syslog? I'll read it again. Which data source should best help identify the executable transferred through SMB during a suspected intrusion? A, manager dashboard, B, packet capture, C, metadata, or D, syslog? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is B, packet capture, right? Using Wireshark, right? You can extract malicious executable from SMB traffic. So the clue here is SMB, server message block. When you always, server message block is like, here's an example of using server message block. You have a printer that also is a scanner. And when you scan something on that printer, on that device, you get the email. You get the scan message on a folder in your computer. So it's network traffic, right? Which one of these does really network traffic? Well, it's not email metadata, right? It has nothing to do with network traffic. A syslog header, maybe. I don't know, syslog, right? You want to see, identify it, maybe. Manager dashboard, no, right? So you really left with just one, which is packet capture, right? And that's the answer, through Wireshark. Listen, this is how you beat the CompTIA, right? You got to read through the questions and you can pick it apart. You can pick it apart, right? You could look at the question, right? It says SMB. You think about like the example that I just gave you, right? SMB, right? Transferring something from one device to another in your network, right? So that's network, is right? And then you say, well, which one of these has anything to do with network? And it's packet capture, right? Packets that are flowing in throughout the network. And then you can, that's how you get the answer. So is this test hard? Yes, this test is hard. This test is unlike if you have the A+ and the network plus. This one is really different. I find this one to be more definition based, right? And if anyone who's taken this exam, passed or failed, let me know if you agree with me or disagree. But I think this one is more definition based. This one, it's not like the other ones, right? Like the other ones have a lot of, not that this doesn't have a lot of clues, but I found taking this one to be more definition based than any of the other ones. I think but I found this easier than Network Plus. So if I had to go through the order, it was A+, and then Security Plus, and then Network Plus. I actually found Network Plus harder than any of the other exams of the three. And the fundamentals, there was one version, the fundamentals, it doesn't have it anymore. It's been replaced by Tech Plus. But one of the fundamentals exams, when they changed it, it was so many people were saying that it was so hard. They just complete. I wonder if anybody remember when they changed the fundamentals exam. I think maybe 2019, 2020, 2021, around that time. And they changed it. I remember I was working in Lincoln Tech, and I didn't have to take it because I had one. I had fundamentals one. But the guys there who had to take it, they were coming out of the exam room saying, "Man, I passed, but I barely passed." They were like, "Man, that thing was hard." I don't know what they did. They just changed it. I forgot what they did, but it was extremely hard. Now they have Tech Plus, which I kind of like. I think Tech Plus is really, if you want to be in help desk, I don't think that one is for you. But if you are working like in MIS, or if you're working in like marketing, or if you're working in accounting, and you want to know about security, IT security and compliance, right? This one you should take, right? If you're going to work in compliance in marketing or accounting or any other, any financial, right? You might want to work in compliance. This Tech Plus you should take because it teaches you the fundamentals more of security, and they incorporated a lot of AI stuff in it too. But this is the one for you. If you're in IT, you should not be taking, if help desk is what you want to do. I don't know if Tech Plus is for you. I got to do a little bit, this is fairly new. I got to do a little bit of deep dive in it. Actually, when I finish, I think I'm going to finish the Security Plus before the A Plus. Of course, the A Plus is a lot longer. I think while continually do the A Plus, I'm going to do the Tech Plus. So I'm going to do a whole deep dive just after the year. This is next year. I'm going to do a whole thing on Tech Plus. I think that's something that just like if you're taking PMP, then you should take the next one should be your Tech Plus, right? You want to be a project manager on IT, you should have your Tech Plus certification. That way you know at least some aspect of IT. I think A Plus is for help desk, and then Tech Plus, I don't know if they're marketing that way, but I feel like it should be for, like if you have somebody in a group and like let's say a marketing group, and you have that one guy that knows a lot about computers, that guy should have a Tech Plus. If you have a whole bunch of accounting people and one guy knows a lot about computers, he should have the Tech Plus. That's what it's good for. So you always want some member of your team to at least have some competencies as far as IT is concerned. All right, that will do it for today on Technology Tap. I want to thank you all, and if this is the last episode that you listen for the year, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And as always, keep tapping into technology. This has been a presentation of Little Cha Cha Productions, art by Sarah, music by Joe Kim. We're now part of the Pod Match Network. You can follow me at TikTok at Professor J-Rod, that's J-R-O-D, or you can email me at ProfessorJrod, J-R-O-D, @gmail.com.